What happens when paradise becomes a battleground? When the fate of the Pacific hinges on a tiny, unassuming island? This is Guadalcanal. To fully grasp the significance of the Guadalcanal campaign, we must first understand why this seemingly obscure island in the Solomon Islands chain became a focal point of military strategy during World War II. Guadalcanal, with its dense jungles and rugged terrain, was not initially considered a primary target by either the Allies or the Japanese. However, its strategic importance quickly became apparent in 1942. The Japanese began constructing an airfield on Guadalcanal in mid-1942, part of their broader strategy to extend their defensive perimeter and secure key positions across the Pacific. This airfield, once operational, would allow the Japanese to launch air attacks on Allied supply lines between the United States, Australia, and New Zealand, effectively cutting off vital support and reinforcements. For the Allies, allowing the Japanese to maintain control of Guadalcanal was not an option. The island's location made it a critical point for projecting power in the Pacific and protecting the sea routes that were essential for the Allied war effort. Recognizing the urgent need to prevent the Japanese from fortifying their position, the Allies planned a hasty and ambitious operation to seize Guadalcanal and its airfield. On August 7, 1942, the first wave of United States Marines landed on the beaches of Guadalcanal. The initial landings, part of Operation Watchtower, were met with surprisingly little resistance. Japanese forces on the island, primarily construction troops and a small garrison, were caught off guard. Within days, the Marines had captured the partially completed airfield, which they promptly renamed Henderson Field. However, the ease of the initial landings belied the challenges that lay ahead. The Marines quickly discovered that holding Guadalcanal would be a grueling and bloody endeavor. The harsh tropical environment, with its intense heat, humidity, and torrential rains, was as much an enemy as the Japanese forces. Malaria, dysentery, and other tropical diseases spread rapidly among the troops, complicating their efforts to establish a secure foothold on the island. Chapter 2: The First Boots on the Ground. The early days of the Guadalcanal campaign were marked by intense uncertainty and danger. While the Marines had succeeded in capturing Henderson Field, they faced significant logistical challenges. Supply lines were stretched thin, and the remote location of Guadalcanal made it difficult to bring in reinforcements and supplies. The initial phase of the campaign saw the Marines working tirelessly to fortify their positions around Henderson Field. They dug trenches, constructed defensive perimeters, and prepared for the inevitable Japanese counterattacks. The Japanese, shocked by the sudden Allied assault, quickly regrouped and began launching efforts to retake the airfield and push the Americans off the island. The first significant Japanese counterattack came in late August 1942. Japanese naval and air forces launched a series of assaults aimed at neutralizing Henderson Field and landing additional troops on Guadalcanal. These efforts culminated in the Battle of the Tanaru, where U.S. Marines successfully repelled a determined Japanese infantry assault, inflicting heavy casualties on the attackers. Despite these early successes, the Marines knew they were in for a long and difficult fight. The Japanese were determined to reclaim Guadalcanal and viewed the airfield as a critical asset. The stage was set for a protracted and brutal campaign that would test the limits of human endurance and resolve. The initial Marine landings and the swift capture of Henderson Field marked the beginning of a grueling 6-month struggle for control of Guadalcanal. The early phases of the campaign highlighted the strategic importance of the island and set the stage for the intense battles that would follow. The fight for Guadalcanal was not just about a piece of land. It was about control of the Pacific and the broader course of World War II. Chapter 3: The Air War Intensifies. The skies over Guadalcanal became a battleground for control of the island and the broader Pacific theater. At the heart of this struggle was Henderson Field, the airfield that the Marines had captured and hastily made operational. Named after Major Lofton R. Henderson, a Marine aviator who died at the Battle of Midway, this airfield was crucial for both the Allied and Japanese forces. The Cactus Air Force, a mix of U.S. Army, Navy, and Marine Corps aviators, defended the airfield. Despite being outnumbered and under-resourced, these pilots showed remarkable innovation and bravery. They flew aging aircraft in terrible conditions, using creative tactics to fend off Japanese attacks. Daily life for the Cactus Air Force was brutal. They faced continuous Japanese air raids aimed at knocking Henderson Field out of commission. These raids involved intense dogfights, with pilots risking their lives in the skies. The Japanese had superior aircraft early in the campaign, such as the Mitsubishi A6M-0, known for its speed and maneuverability. However, the American pilots made up for this with tactics and tenacity. The air battles were crucial in determining the control of the island. Every successful defense of Henderson Field allowed the Allies to maintain air superiority, which was vital for supporting ground operations and keeping supply lines open. The Cactus Air Force's ability to keep Henderson Field operational was a key factor in the Allies' eventual victory. Chapter 4. The Naval Battles Rage. While the skies were filled with the roar of dogfights, the seas around Guadalcanal were the stage for some of the fiercest naval battles of World War II. Control of the waters around the island was essential for both sides to bring in reinforcements and supplies. The first major naval engagement was the Battle of Savo Island, just days after the initial landings. In a devastating surprise attack, Japanese forces sank 4 Allied heavy cruisers, killing over 1,000 sailors. This early defeat highlighted the vulnerability of the Allies' position and the challenges they would face in securing Guadalcanal. Subsequent battles, including the Battle of the Eastern Solomons and the Battle of Santa Cruz, saw massive losses on both sides. These engagements were characterized by night fighting and the use of powerful naval artillery. The Japanese demonstrated their night fighting skills, often gaining the upper hand in darkness. The climax came in November 1942 with the Naval Battle of Guadalcanal, a series of engagements over several days. This battle was particularly brutal, with both sides suffering heavy losses. The Japanese lost 2 battleships, a cruiser, and several destroyers, while the Allies lost 2 cruisers and 7 destroyers. Despite these losses, the Allies managed to secure their hold on the island, cutting off Japanese attempts to reinforce and resupply their troops. The naval battles around Guadalcanal demonstrated the importance of sea control in modern warfare. The ability to move troops and supplies by sea was crucial, and the Allies' eventual dominance in the waters around the island was a turning point in the campaign. Chapter 5. Jungle Hell. The ground battles on Guadalcanal were fought in some of the most challenging conditions imaginable. The dense jungles, swamps, and rivers created a nightmarish environment for both sides. The tropical climate, with its intense heat and humidity, was relentless. Malaria, dysentery, and other tropical diseases were rampant, taking a heavy toll on the troops. One of the most intense engagements was the Battle of Edson's Ridge, also known as the Battle of Bloody Ridge. In September 1942, U.S. Marine Corps raiders and paratroopers, under the command of Colonel Merritt A. Edson, defended a vital ridge overlooking Henderson Field. The Japanese launched a series of night attacks aimed at capturing the ridge and the airfield. Despite being heavily outnumbered, the Marines held their ground, inflicting severe casualties on the Japanese forces. The human toll of the campaign was immense. Both sides suffered from hunger, exhaustion, and constant stress. The jungle battles were brutal and often fought at close quarters, with hand-to-hand combat becoming common. Individual stories of heroism and sacrifice emerged, such as that of Sergeant John Basilone, who single-handedly held off a Japanese assault with a machine gun, earning the Medal of Honor for his actions. The harsh conditions and fierce fighting tested the limits of human endurance. The soldiers who fought on Guadalcanal faced constant danger, not only from the enemy, but also from the environment. The campaign became a grueling war of attrition, with both sides struggling to maintain their positions and keep their troops supplied. Chapter 6. The Long Road to Victory. As the campaign dragged on, the Allies began to gain the upper hand. Reinforcements arrived and supply lines became more secure. The arrival of the U.S. Army's 25th Infantry Division and the Americal Division bolstered the American presence on the island, allowing for more coordinated and sustained offensives against Japanese positions. Key battles, such as the Battle of Mount Austin, the Galloping Horse, and the Seahorse, saw the Allies slowly but steadily pushing back Japanese forces. These battles were characterized by intense jungle warfare, with both sides enduring heavy casualties. The Japanese, struggling with dwindling supplies and reinforcements, were forced into increasingly desperate tactics. The Battle of Edson's Ridge marked a turning point in the campaign. The successful defense of Henderson Field allowed the Allies to maintain air superiority, which was crucial for supporting ground operations and disrupting Japanese supply lines. The constant pressure on Japanese positions and the relentless air and naval attacks gradually weakened their hold on the island. The Allies' ability to bring in reinforcements and maintain supply lines was a decisive factor in their eventual victory. The Japanese, on the other hand, struggled with logistical challenges, making it increasingly difficult to sustain their forces on Guadalcanal. Chapter 7: The Japanese Retreat. By early 1943, it became clear that the Japanese could no longer sustain their efforts on Guadalcanal. The relentless Allied assaults, the difficulty of resupplying their forces, and the strategic decision to prioritize other areas of the Pacific all contributed to their decision to abandon the island. Operation K, the evacuation of Japanese forces from Guadalcanal, was conducted under the cover of darkness and with remarkable stealth. Over several nights in February 1943, the Japanese successfully withdrew nearly all their remaining troops from the island. This operation was a testament to their skill and determination, even in the face of overwhelming odds. The Japanese retreat marked the end of the Guadalcanal campaign and a significant strategic defeat for Japan. The loss of the island weakened their defensive perimeter in the Pacific and marked the beginning of their retreat across the region. For the Allies, the victory at Guadalcanal was a crucial step in their campaign to reclaim the Pacific and ultimately defeat Japan. Chapter 8: Legacy of Guadalcanal. The Guadalcanal campaign had a profound impact on the course of the Pacific War. It was the first major offensive by Allied forces against the Japanese Empire and marked a significant shift in the momentum of the war. The victory at Guadalcanal boosted Allied morale and demonstrated that Japanese forces could be defeated in sustained, combined arms operations. The campaign also highlighted the importance of air and naval power in modern warfare. Control of the skies and seas around Guadalcanal was crucial to the success of the ground operations, setting a precedent for future Pacific battles. The lessons learned at Guadalcanal influenced Allied strategies and tactics for the remainder of the war. For the veterans who fought on Guadalcanal, the island left lasting scars. The brutal conditions, intense combat, and high casualties took a heavy toll. Many who survived carried the physical and psychological wounds of the campaign for the rest of their lives. The bonds forged in the crucible of combat created a sense of camaraderie and mutual respect among the soldiers, sailors, and aviators who served there. The island of Guadalcanal itself, once a serene and unremarkable place, became a symbol of sacrifice and resilience. The remnants of the conflict, rusting warships, overgrown bunkers, and abandoned airstrips, serve as silent witnesses to the fierce battles fought there. Today, Guadalcanal stands as a reminder of the courage and determination of those who fought and died on its shores. Guadalcanal, known as the Island of Death, was a crucible of courage and endurance. It was a place where paradise became a battleground, and where the fate of the Pacific hung in the balance. The campaign's legacy is a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who fought there, reminding us of the profound cost of war and the enduring value of peace. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of the Guadalcanal campaign. If you found this video informative and engaging, please like, share, and subscribe for more content on pivotal moments in history. Let's continue to honor the memory of those who served and learn from the past to build a better future.